So at this point, I feel like most of us are at least somewhat familiar with Biden's troubling past with the black community. It seems the other day he decided, I'm going to try to mend some fences. I'm going to try to reach out to them, meet them where they're at. Listen to these comments from Joe Biden.
When you are running as a Democrat in the Democratic Party of today, you have to connect with the African-American community. But there are probably better ways to do it than the one Biden chose at a rally in Des Moines this week.
We said, look, put together a program for us where we can teach people how to code. So they went out literally into the hood. The vast majority of women of color, no one with more than a high school degree, almost a third of them only had a GED.
Literally in the hood. You can't say that there were.
Yeah. That just happened. Listen, do y'all remember the other day we did a video talking about Simone Sanders, right? Simone Sanders, former National Press Secretary of Bernie Sanders. Nobody really likes her that much. Nobody really trusts her that much. And of course, it seemed like we were validated in our distrust because, well, she ended up working for CNN. She became a millionaire. Now she works for Joe Biden after race baiting everybody and their mother when Kamala Harris came out and announced, and we called her out on her record. Now, I don't know what the point of having a fake black woman. No, she's not a fake black woman. I won't call her that. We'll just call her inauthentic in her convictions. She's inauthentic when it comes to her convictions. We know this, or else she wouldn't be working for Biden because he's disingenuous. But I don't know what the point of having somebody like Simone Sanders on your damn campaign if for any other reason than to not say dumb stuff like this. When he said that comment, people, I could literally feel her in the back, right? Because obviously the camera ain't going to show the crowd because then you'll find out there's not that many people there. But I could feel her. My black, your black spider sense, you can feel in the back going, this ain't it. Cut it. It's too late. He already said it. There's a lot of problems with what Joe Biden said. Obviously, Joe, you are trying to directly associate the hood with black people, with being poor, and with being uneducated. Ironically enough, the same tactics you use to justify pushing your crime bill, which ultimately jailed a lot of us over marijuana charges, that ultimately led to people not being able to pursue their education, not being able to pursue their degrees, because if you have a felony, especially at that point in time, there was no way in hell you were getting into a university, which is ironic because I'm sure many of you, like myself, have been to university. Now, I've been to one of the most elitist universities in the country. And let's be honest, they're doing much harder drugs than anything that a lot of these felons have been put in jail for selling. A plant, by the way. So I just find it a little patronizing, Joe. I'm sure a lot of people would agree. Because for one, you don't get to say you've been to the hood. You don't get to say that. Two, you don't get to pretend as if black people should be automatically associated with being poor and that you're somehow altruistic for acknowledging that and going to the hood and helping out. No. First of all, if I go to a place like West Virginia, and a lot of places in rural areas in West Virginia, for example, a lot of places in Vermont, actually, if you've noticed, there's actually a connection, a correlation with poor communities in the poor white communities in the opiate epidemic. Very, very similar to how the poor black community there was a correlation between the poor black communities and the crack epidemic. Now, that was mostly an economy thing, but a lot of it is a despair and a lack of opportunity. And that's more what the poor black community is dealing with is historic and systematic oppression and suppression of opportunity. And that's more what we're concerned with rather than the poverty side. But if you go to a poor white community, they have the same issues: lack of education, no college experience, A lot of them have their GEDs. Some of them don't even have their high school diplomas. And in the older generations, a lot of them don't have their high school diplomas, or a lot of them just settled for the high school diploma because there was plenty of manual blue collar work there, which is fine. But to pretend as if black people and the hood should automatically be associated with being poor is ludicrous. You're painting us as children who need your handout. Black people, by the way, had no problem finding economic prosperity before, y'all systematically shut them down at every turn. Whether it be with the Wilmington Massacre, whether it be with Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, whether it be in Berkeley, California, whether it be in New York, whether it be through redlining, preventing us from being able to get mortgages, business loans, we were fine. We just asked if you would just, hey, can you stop with the racist policies? That's all we asked. Now, obviously, being black and poor isn't mutually exclusive, but let's have an honest conversation about it. But what this is pandering. The same reason he hired Samoa Sanders, clearly, because he didn't hire her for substantive advice. Because or else, she would have to be fired if she told me to say that shit. She had to be fired. She would have to go. Come on. He's had a history of racist missteps, if that's how you want to characterize them. Stop patronizing us, Joe. You're doing the same thing to us like you do with the women. You haven't apologized for anything you've done, but yet we're just supposed to believe you're here to do the right thing conveniently as you're about to run for president. What a convenience. Thanks for watching that segment of Mi Casa es Su Casa. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, on Roku TV, and on JustNForm.com. Also, you can make sure that you're subscribed to the channel by going to the subscribe button, pressing it, and hitting that notification bell to get all of our notifications. And of course, you can help us reach our goal of 500 patrons on Patreon by supporting the show by donating as little as $1. You can click on the link in the description below for that. And remember, more than anything else, find your balance. Peace.